Have you ever been in a room speaking to a group, maybe colleagues or friends, and despite your effort, no one seems to really listen? Their eyes wander, their replies are vague, distracted, but then someone else speaks, and suddenly all eyes turn. The room gets quiet. Every word that person says seems to land with weight. You wonder, what just happened? Why do some people seem to carry a presence that makes others pay attention, while the rest of us are left trying to reclaim the spotlight? This isn't about being born charismatic or naturally loud. It's not about dominance or being the smartest person in the room. There's something deeper going on, something that, once understood, can change the way people experience your words. Psychologist Mehrabian found that communication is more than just words. Only 7% of meaning is conveyed through the words we say. The remaining 93%? It comes from tone of voice and body language. That explains why two people can say the exact same sentence, and one is remembered while the other is ignored. But let's go even deeper. Before words, before tone, there is something most of us overlook: presence. True presence. It's the silent power that draws attention without demanding it. And perhaps the most overlooked tool of all? Silence itself. Before speaking, powerful communicators pause. They don't rush to fill the air with words, they create space. And in that space, the room leans in. As the philosopher Blaise Pascal once said, all of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone. In communication, the same principle applies. We're so eager to speak that we often rob our words of their own gravity. Silence, when used deliberately, signals confidence. It tells your audience that you are not in a hurry to prove your value. You know your words matter, and you let the silence build anticipation. Neuroscience backs this up. Studies in cognitive psychology have shown that brief pauses before delivering key points help increase listener retention and emotional engagement. It gives the brain time to anticipate and prepare for what's next. Think about your favorite movie scenes, the moments just before the big reveal. The camera zooms in, the music fades, and there's a beat of silence. Why? Because silence builds tension. It sharpens attention. It makes what follows feel important. And yet, most people fear silence. They fill the gaps with, unconscious habits that dilute the message and erode credibility. But here's the shift. When you replace filler with intentional silence, your speech becomes instantly more powerful. You reclaim control of the room. The Roman philosopher Cicero once said, silence is one of the great arts of conversation. And great conversation is not just about what you say, it's about how you say it. A monotone voice, no matter how smart the content, loses the room. But a voice that dances, one that knows when to slow down, when to speed up, when to soften, when to rise, keeps people engaged. It's music. And like any good melody, it relies on rhythm and variation. Harvard researcher Dr. Amy Cuddy explains that powerful presence is about warmth and strength. Not one or the other, but both. People respond to you not only when you sound confident, but when you also sound authentic. When your voice carries emotion, not theatrics, but sincerity, people listen not just to your words, but to your intent. So how do you apply this in everyday life? Let's break it down. The next time you walk into a conversation, pause before you speak. Just 2 seconds. Let your presence settle into the room. Look people in the eye, not aggressively, but with calm steadiness. Then begin, not with a rushed intro or explanation, but with a statement or a question that earns attention. Have you ever noticed how silence can speak louder than words? Something that makes people stop and think. From there, be mindful of your pace. Don't sprint through your ideas. Let them breathe. Use pauses to highlight key points. For example, most people talk, but few people are truly heard. The difference is presence. That slight pause before the conclusion gives it weight. Another practical technique, vary your tone intentionally. If you want to emphasize urgency, raise your energy. If you want to invite reflection, lower your tone and slow your pace. Let your voice match the message. And of course, your body speaks too. Keep your posture upright but relaxed. Don't fidget or shrink. Open gestures signal confidence. Grounded movement signals calm. People trust what they see more than what they hear, so let your body echo your words. Finally, less is often more. Avoid over-explaining. Avoid apologizing for your point. State it clearly, then let it sit. Let your audience process. The more you speak with intention, the more your words will carry. So many of us spend our lives trying to be heard. But the real art lies in speaking so people choose to listen. And that art is not reserved for the famous, the extroverted, or the trained. It's a learnable skill. It starts with awareness and grows through practice. As the leadership expert Simon Sinek puts it, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. That applies not only to business, but to conversation. People listen to the heart behind your words. They want to feel something real. Your job is not just to inform, but to connect. So the next time you're about to speak, pause, breathe, let the room find you before you find your words. And when you do speak, do it with the quiet confidence of someone who knows their voice matters. Because it does. If this message spoke to you, take a moment to pause before your next conversation. Practice silence. Own your presence and speak, not to be heard, but to be felt. If you found value here, don't keep it to yourself. Share this video with someone who needs to reclaim their voice. And if you'd like more insights like this, practical, powerful, and proven, subscribe, follow, or simply stay close. Because sometimes one simple shift in how we speak changes everything. Thank you for watching.